Okay, so I'm back to do another one. I want to take a look at Aurora. I want to pick another song, and I just kind of picked something randomly. This says Aurora the Flood Visualizer. I don't know what that refers to. Sometimes I'll pick a song and someone will tell me, no, you listened to the wrong version. Don't listen to that one. If that's the case here, forgive me. I'm kind of just flying blind here, just kind of picking and choosing stuff that I know that I've heard people say I should really look into more. So this is a song by Aurora. This is called The Flood. Let's take a listen to it. Let's start it out.
Like I'm losing all my thoughts.
That is such a cool song. Um, I like that song a lot. That's really great. The lyrics are very, I think, very relatable to pretty much anybody. Um, what it looks like here, when you're kind of, I don't know what if I like discovering yourself, if you're finally finding like the pith of who and what you are. I mean, that's kind of it sounds like that struggle that everybody goes through at some point in your life, when you try to say, well, I've been afraid of this and I've been afraid of that. Why was I? You start second guessing all of your fears and all of your trepidation, and you start saying, you know what, I've got this. I think I've got this under control. And I think maybe that kind of sums up what she's saying here, is like, I think I got this. I think I'm getting this. Which is very understandable, for a young person who's kind of been thrust into the limelight. I would think you would feel an enormous amount of pressure. Just as an average person, you feel enormous amount of pressure as you're entering the real world, but you throw all sorts of fame on top of it, and I would think it's a pretty crushing weight. So the lyrics: who have I been? Who have I been fighting all this time? All this time. Maybe I've spent too much time with myself because everything became enormous in my head. Maybe there never was a demon. Maybe it was just me dreaming, and now I can't escape this feeling. So really, really cool, very relatable lyrics to anybody, to myself, to young people, to everybody. I can't leave it to rest. It's like nobody cares, because I feel like I'm flooding over. Everything and everyone knows how this story goes. Yeah, there you go. Everyone and everything and everyone knows how this story goes. I've been under pressure all my life, and I feel like I'm losing all my fights. But who have I been fighting all this time? It's so funny, when you think about the limitations that you put on yourself in life. Thinking, well, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. There's a saying that, people in business and just in general will say, and they say, you know what, it's better to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. And it's that's kind of along the same lines, saying, you know what, these things I've been afraid of doing all my life, you never know until you try. So, I've looked over, I've stood here for so many years waiting for the morning sunbeams to finally warm me, but it's happening so slowly. It's impossible to notice. So I think that's a pretty interesting statement there, saying, this is happening really, really slowly. Do you hear that? I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's... Oh, it's a woodpecker outside. It's a freaking woodpecker out there. I'm thinking, it's not my phone. Crazy. I heard him the other day out there. He was pecking on my neighbor's tree. Yeah, I would assume you guys can hear that. But anyway, let's get back to it. That's what happens when you have the windows open. I've stood here for so many years waiting for the sunbeams to finally warm me. It's happening so slowly. I love this part. I loved it, but it's happening so slowly it's impossible to notice how everything around me is changing. Another thing that happens really slowly and is impossible to notice? Aging. Aging is one of those things that, I make a joke all the time. I tell people, I was 19 and then I got married and all of a sudden I'm old. How did that happen? And I'll make jokes saying, maybe I wasn't paying attention for a few decades. I don't know how I got here. So, a lot of things in life happen slowly and almost unnoticeable until something's changed, So I like that. I like that part. And that's how I personally kind of relate to that, even though it really has nothing to do with the song. I understand the sentiment behind it. So I really like this, and I love the lyrics. I can't leave it to rest. It's like nobody cares, because I feel like I'm flooding over, And everyone knows how this story goes. I've been under pressure all my life, and I feel like I'm losing all my fights. But who have I been fighting all this time? That's the line that makes me feel like I think I'm getting this. I think there's a little key there that says, okay, yeah, nobody's listening, and I've been fighting all my life, but who have I been fighting? It's like one of those aha moments where you go, wait a minute, and you look at your problem or whatever from another angle. Who have I been fighting all this time? And that's how the song ends lyrically. And I think that's kind of on a high note. I noticed that the video here again is just very simple. Her in this box, which is very very symbolic of what she's saying. She feels like she's in this box, and she needs to escape from this box of whatever it is that's holding her back. You can see that she kind of like, is like trying to sneak out, and trying to kind of like put your toe into the water to feel what it's like outside of this box. There's what appears to be, again, I don't know a lot about her, but there appears to be a confidence in her appearance and in her mannerisms that say, I know, I'm beginning to know who I am, So I think it's really, really interesting. And the color red for the dress and the lipstick is like, really drawing attention to herself. I think it's something that, a conscious effort that she made to say, I'm looking at myself. So, I think I've gone lyrically deeper into this song than I have with a lot of other songs, only because I find it to be really, really relatable and really nice. The song seems to be musically fairly simple as far as the chord structure. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff happening in there, but it seems to be an F sharp major 7, and it seems to be like the 2 chord kind of a deal where you're going back and forth between this this kind of and there's a lot of this little pentatonic stuff happening in there that's really interesting. And so we got this little kind of looping. So what's interesting is the nice thing. So this chord progression calls for these little pentatonic floating arpeggios, and the cool thing about it is that it can all be done on the black keys. And there you go. That's interesting. So you're hearing stuff like from the just really, really cool thing. Really nice. It's really just the 2 chord to the 2 minor 7 to the 1 major 7. It's very simple, very effective, really nice. Love that. That's so cool.
this time. I can't leave it to rest. Leave it to rest. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. 'Cause I feel like I'm floating, floating over everything, and everyone knows how this story goes. And I've been under pressure all my life, and I feel like I'm losing all my fights. I've been under pressure all my life, but have I been fighting all this time? I stood here for so many years, waiting for the morning sunbeam
So that's it's going to the 4 chord there.
to finally warm.
So it's really the 4 major 7.
But it's happening so slow. It's impossible to
That's so nice.
notice how everything around me is changing.
So
After all this time, I can't leave it to rest. Leave it to rest. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. 'Cause I feel like I'm floating, floating over everything, and everyone knows how this story goes. And I've been under pressure all my life, and
sorry, be
I
natural.
feel like I'm losing all my fights. I've been under pressure all my life, but have I been fighting all this time?
it sounds like they're going to the 6 minor chord there. That one other extra change. That's
I've
nice.
been under pressure all my life, but have I been fighting all this time?
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful song. It just beautiful, beautiful song. I love it. So, oh, I'm so glad I didn't. I was going to take my bike out and go for a ride. I'm so glad I didn't. I really like this song a lot. I like it enough that I want it to kind of play out. So let's let it play out before I go. That would be. Love it. Love it. What a cool song. I really, really like that song. So cool. That's going to be stuck in my head now for the rest of the day. What a cool song. You just want to keep, you just want to keep going. I just want to keep doing that. That's so cool. Anyway, guys, very cool. Aurora, The Flood. Very cool song. Love it. See you later.